Nature of directing, it is a dynamic function because the directing will change according to the situations. That is the reason they called it as a dynamic function. Communication is nothing but exchanging the information from one person to another person or sharing information from one person to another person. If you are directing properly, every individual put their entire efforts to reach the goal without any hurdles. Warm welcome to first some B.Ba student. The subject we are discussing management principles and practices. In our previous sessions, we learned about the concept of management, planning, organizing, staffing. And now we are going to learn the concepts of Unit 4 where we have directing and communicating. After planning, organizing and staffing, the next process it comes here. Somebody should be there to direct the work, how it has to be executed in the organization. I am Professor Rajesh L.R. from Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In today's agenda, we have here the meaning of directing, principles of direction, communication, importance of communication, barriers, types of communication, motivation theory, and leadership. From your examination point of view, there may be 10 marks question on importance, barriers, types. In these three, any one question. In motivation theory, either it may be 15 or 10 marks question, one, and leadership, it may be either 2 marks or 10 marks. So, in this session, whatever we're discussing on the concept of direction and communication, motivation, leadership, go through this one, understand and get through your examination easily. First, the meaning of directing. Directing is a process through which a manager communicates with and influences other members of the organization in the pursuit of the company's objective. A person who is going to communicate the entire goals of the organization to his subordinates and how they have to work and how they have to perform and what are the strategies are they to work in this particular project and how they have to involve in the activities of the functional part of the organization and how the organization is going to support all the subordinates of the organization. This is a thing what a manager has to communicate to all his subordinates, whatever the communication he received from the top level to the and communicating to the operation level here. Nature of directing, it is a dynamic function because the directing will change according to the situations. That is the reason they called it as a dynamic function. It initiates action. Say we have planned, we have made arrangements, we have made arrangement of manpower. Now the work has to be executed. The executed process is nothing but directing. It provides necessary link between various managerial functions. They're saying that when directing provides always a link between different managerial functions like how the work has to be executed and how the work should be done and when it should be done, how it should be done, where it should be done, why it should be done, what should be done. Like this, different types of functional activities are there and even it has to be coordinated with all other functions of the organization of the management. Next we have, it is an universal function. Directing is always a universal function because it is required in all management functions and in every type of business for every type of activities what they are conducting in the market. It is concerned with human relationship. Always direction or directing is concerned with the people, how they are going to communicate, how they are going to be influenced with the communication made by the higher to the subordinates and subordinates to the higher. So that is why it is called, it is concerned with human relationship. If there is a small defect in the communication or in understanding between the communication made by the manager and the subordinates, then the work can't be done properly, and the goals, whatever the organizations are there, that cannot be achieved here. Principles of maximum individual contribution. It motivates all the employees to give the better contribution towards the achievement of the organization. If you are directing properly, every individual put their entire efforts to reach the goal without any hurdles. Principle of harmony of objectives. There will be two main objectives of the organization. The one objective will be the concept, the employees has to get the good salary. This is the objective of the organization, and employees will think that when we have to get good remuneration for the work whatever we have done. Thus the twin objectives of the organization is called harmony and unity of command. As you know that one boss, one employee, so that will be good. Principle of appropriateness of direction technique. They should have the appropriate concept, how it has to be directed, and how if we communicate to our subordinates, how they take that one and work according to the information provided by the manager. If the direction is not proper or according to the requirement, then definitely the work cannot be executed properly, and even the goals cannot be reached, and even the individual's achievements cannot be done, because there was no proper guidance or direction given by the superior to their subordinates. Next, principle of managerial communication, principle of use of informal organization. In some of the cases, sometimes some leaders are there, they're not officially called as leaders, but even though they work in the organization as a leader to execute the work and make the people to involve in the work and even to reach the common objective of the organization. So informal organization is nothing but sometimes the informal communications what we are going to use in the organization only whenever it is necessary and emergency is there. At those stages, the informal organization concept will be used. The communication may be passed from top level directly to the operation level or operation level to the top level without making involvement of mid-level management. So this can be happen whenever there is requirement. Principle of leadership. Leadership is nothing but here the person who is going to take the initiative of going to work in the organization for taking in charge of certain people's responsibility and even the project. So he should be very careful how the work has to be executed based on his behavior, based on his moment, based on his direction, the work are executed. If the leader is not good, so then if he's not a good communicator and good listener and good motivator, the work cannot be done easily. Nobody will listen or take care of the things whatever the person has communicated him. So the leadership should be perfect here, and he should not be like a person who is going to take only actions without collecting any information. A person who's there who wants to rule the people, but he doesn't want to take feedback from the people. So if such things are happening, so then he is not a good leader. Whenever the issue arises here, he has to collect from both the parties all the information, then he has to decide what was wrong and what is right and what decisions has to be taken. If they take from one way the communication here, and if it rule on that part, definitely the value of the persons will be reduced. The value what he was having without taking the information from both the parties here and taking only one side information and making rules and regulations, applying that one and removing the employees from the organization or sending the employees with penalizing them or putting penalty or any taking actions on the employees is not good thing. The leaders should do certain things in such a way that one, whatever do or communicate that one, it should be accepted by both the parties here. But in some of the cases, it doesn't happen here, so that is not a good leadership here. Principle of follow through. Whatever the things has been directed by the leader or the manager for their subordinates, after communicating how the work has to be done here, he should do in such a way that one, he has to follow that one. Whether whatever I communicated, my subordinates are doing according to my direction or not. Whether they understood all the concepts, they're working according to the requirements or not. If the requirements are not there, whether it is default from our side or default from the subordinate side. Understand the issues, then you react on those things. Definitely it will be good for the organization as well as for the individual members also. The next one we have here, communication. Communication is nothing but exchanging the information from one person to another person, or sharing information from one person to another person. It may be sharing information or getting some information in the form of feedback, or it may be for the betterment decisions for the growth of the organization. One person's view should be considered, and what is his opinion and what he wants to communicate and how he wants to communicate. First listen all the things and then think that one, whether the communication made by the opposition person is right or wrong. If anything is perfect for you, consider that one. If it is not perfect for you, you just guide him. So the things, whatever you communicated is not up to the mark here, or the things which is not required in the present situation for the growth of the organization. So this is the communication what we have here. It is just speaking and listening of certain information. Definition of communication. Communication is exchange of facts, ideas, opinions, emotions by two or more persons. Already I said that one. It is just exchanging of information, the ideas, whatever you have, the opinion, what you want to give, or in some of the cases, they're saying that one, some emotional concept where it is exchanging between two or more persons for the future benefits of the person or organization or the society. Importance of communication, already I said that one. Information sharing, the two people or more than two, they're sharing their information about the process of work, what it has happened and what it should happen and how it can be happened, or if the same thing continues, where the company will go and stand here. So they're sharing the information. If the top level management want to become a good leader, so then it has to collect the information from all the subordinates, and then it has to take proper decisions. First, it has to make survey, then it has to collect the information. It may be in the form of feedback, influence. The communication, sometimes it is going to solve the problems here, and it assists the management to take proper decisions in the organization for the growth and sustainability and facilitating changes. If I want to make certain changes, communication has to be made from top, middle and operation level. Then only they can change the rules and regulations or the process or whatever the strategies they have. They want to change that one, means definitely they have to think that one and how to communicate and how the communication makes better improvement in the individual behavior. So if they know that one, definitely is going to happen in the organization. And communication always is a group building concept and coordination efforts and even development of manager skills and motivating the people. Communication always motivate the people, like in the form, whatever the subordinates are communicating to the superiors, if the superiors listen that one properly and take action according to the requirement and the needs of the subordinates, then definitely it is nothing but the concept of motivation, where the superiors are motivating our subordinates to communicate the risk or the conflicts what they are facing and how it can be overcome with those conflicts with the availability of resources. If they're not listening properly and if they're not cooperating with the work and if they're not motivating for the work done by the subordinates, definitely the employees will not enjoy to work in those type of environment where they don't have value or the ethics of the person thought and taken into consideration. If such things are happening, definitely it is going to make the people in such a way that when they doesn't want to work in those type of environment, they never feel to share their views. They never feel to share their opinions, or they never feel to share their ideas or thoughts, whatever they have in the mind for the growth of the organization. When your views or thoughts or ideas are not considered by your superior or the top level management, the subordinates will think that when whatever the work has been given here will work according. Why? I'm coming here, let me work and let me move. Those things should not happen, and those things should not come in the mindsets of the employees, or else manpower resources, whatever we have here, it is going to become equal to the machineries what we have here, as the employee will come and switch on the button and gives the input of raw material for the machinery and gets the output. The same thing it happens in the manpower also. They come in the early morning, they'll start their work, whatever you are going to give an order, okay, this is right, wrong, this is things I have to do, this thing is completed. Like that, they'll come and they work according to the direction what you're given, and they never want to work in an innovative way and creative concepts. So if those things is happening in the organization, that is not good for the organization, even for the growth or to stay for long run in the market. So management has to think, and then they have to take proper decisions. The communication process what we have here, say the communication process we have here: sender, encoding, message, channels, decoding, receiver. So whatever the communication sent by the person, that is going to encode in such a way that when how it can be made understandable for the person for whom I'm sending, and how it can be communicated better with certain symbols, logo or design, shape or the wordings. How if I communicate, it is going to be good for my communication. He thinks that one, he encodes and the messages and channels. It may be that one, it may be direct channel or indirect channel, like for example communicating through WhatsApp or Instagram, Facebook, mail or messages, or sending the typed information through post. Like this, different channels of communications will be used, and those information received by the receiver, he decodes. He wants to understand what type of communications are made by the sender, and they understand the symbols or the designs or the shapes or whatever he has mentioned over there. He understand that one, and after receiving all the information, the receiver is going to give the feedback for the sender about the information whatever shared by the sender. So now this is the process of communication, which is before 10 marks compulsory question for your examination. Understand this one and write it properly. Barriers to communication. Barriers is nothing but hurdles. The hurdles what we have in the communication, that has to be removed. What type of barriers are there, and what is communication barrier? Communication barrier can be defined as the aspect or condition that interfere with effective exchange of ideas or thoughts. It is obstacle that disturbs normal communication process. It is going to give some issues or problems while communicating certain information. So that is called communication barriers. So here we have physical barriers, cultural barriers, language barriers, emotional barriers, gender barriers, organization barriers, perceptual barriers. Physical barriers is nothing but when we have the huge audience are there, and if I'm communicating in the huge audience place, so then my communication has to reach all the audience who are present in the meeting or seminar or in a place where I'm communicating or where I'm sharing some information. If it is not audible, or if there is any technical issues in the process of communication, what we have used it to reach the audience here. So then if such problems are there, that has to be removed, and they have to adopt the new concepts and make the people to get all the information, whatever it is communicated, with the modified changes or adopting new media technology or any other strategies. Next, cultural barriers. So cultural barriers, next one we have language barriers. Sometimes the communication what we are making, it cannot be reached to a third party easily, so that in those stages, the person who is communicating, he has to understand the opposite person's way of understanding capacity according to his view and other concepts, how it can be made him understand. Based on that, if he communicates, there will be no barriers at all. And next, emotional barriers. Sometimes emotional barriers will be in such a way that when it is going to harm the people. For some, it may be fun, or some, it may be issues in the organization. That has to be motivated by the employees in such a way that those things should not happen in the organization, where one person issue may be enjoyable for the other person, and the person who is facing the issues or conflicts, he may be facing some risk on his shoulder, or he may think not feel happy to involve in certain activities. So if these things are happening in the organization, definitely the conflicts will arise between the two persons, and tomorrow it may stand in the market in a huge way. So instead of bringing those level, what the management can do, bring a motivator, a person who can change the mindset of employees, and always all the employees have to think they are one team members, and they're not different people here, and not category, or it may be casteism, or it may be anything. Don't make any individual groupism here, or any other group activities is to be conducted in the organization. Work as a team and grow as a team, and all the individuals can reach their goals easily when they don't have any groupism in the organization. Gender. The thinking capacity of male and female, always it will be differ. The male person concept will be differ, and the female concept will be differ here. So that has to be made equal in the organization. They have to say that when this is the thing, concepts are there, this has to be understood properly by both male and female to get the work go in a smoother way. And organization barriers are there. These things are outside concepts, whatever we have here: environmental changes, cultural, physical, political, legal, economical barriers. So these concepts has to be controlled by the organization by having proper control on the market information and segmentations of the market. So then only it can control all the organization barriers. So these barriers will come for the examination. Go through this one and learn and write. The next one, we have types of communication: verbal communication, non-verbal, written, listening, and visualization. So whichever is the communication you think it is better for the communicating the information to the person whom you want to communicate. So based on the thing, whichever is suitable for you, based on that you communicate. If you feel that one, let me write the letter and communicate, post him, where he can receive and understand, either it may be 1 page or 2 page, or how many pages is required for you, how the communication has to be, through diagrams or through images, what should be communicated, when it should be think all those things, and then communicate for the person for whom you want to send. And if you want to have visualization, record in a PPT, or it may be in any other form which can be understood by the receiver. So get through all these things and be perfect in the communication. Next, we have motivation. Motivation is an important factor in every organization. If you're not motivating your employees, definitely the work cannot be executed here properly. So motivation is required in all levels of organization and all business activities, and in every type of business. Then only the work can be executed easily and grow and have more sustainability in the market. The first one, we have Maslow's need hierarchy theory. In that one, we have 5 needs here: psychological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, self-actualization needs. See here, psychological needs are, that is nothing but for individual person: food, cloth, shelter. This is the first requirement for all the person. First, if that person is getting the proper food, cloth, and shelter, if is having, so that is the first level of need for individual. The second, it comes job security, and the third, it comes building the relationship with the friends and increasing the relationship of individual, and then reaching the status of the person in the market and getting some level or loyalty in the market and increasing status, and finally achieving the full potential activities in such a way that when, so I've reached all my needs has been activated, but I want to maintain this and I want to achieve still more in my concept, whatever it is. This is the Maslow's hierarchy need theory. Understand, and there'll be compulsory question for 15 marks. And next, we have Hertzberg's two-factor theory. That is two-factor theory mainly deals with job satisfaction and job dissatisfaction. So first, we are taking job satisfaction. In that one, The first job satisfaction is work. The work allotted by the organization to an individual person, it has to satisfy the thing what the employee is working. If a person is qualified in different area and if has been placed in a different area, so then is not satisfied with the work what he's doing. He may be performing his job or he may be doing his work but not involved in 100%, or he cannot give more innovative ideas for the work what he's doing. Only to survive in the market for the food, cloth and shelter he may be working, and you may not get the actual productivity what it is required. Next, recognition. So whenever any employee has performed well, even though he doesn't know anything, and if his work, because of his involvement and the work what he has done, from that if the organization gets more benefits, then he should be recognized in the organization for the work what he has done. And just by motivating him and making him in such a way, group people calling him and saying that when because of you, the work has been got very good name and we have achieved huge profits. You are the right person. If they say that's enough, it is not like only we have to give the financial benefit for the employees, then only they'll work, and it is a motivation. Sometimes it is a demotivation factor. Don't give financial benefits. In the same way, give more non-financial benefits and recognition for the work, whatever they have done. Some of the people, they want to increase their status in the group or level where they are working. If they are getting more reputation on the work, whatever they have done, they involve in the work and they work 24/7, even though the organization doesn't say anything. Dissatisfaction is nothing but pay benefits. If the organizations are not making proper payment for the people who have been employed for the work here, so then the people will not enjoy to work in the organization. If the salary is paid on time or if the salary is paid on a proper basis, definitely the people will work in the organization. They stay for long run in the organization, or the companies or the organization has to face more recession in the employment. So this thing why the company is losing the right persons from the right position or at the right time, because the employees are not getting proper recognition in the form of benefits, in the form of salary, or it may be in the form of remuneration. What should be paid, they're not paying for the right people. For the people who doesn't have the qualification or the people who doesn't have the quality in the work, for them they'll be getting more salary and more benefits. The people who are really involved in the work, they'll be not getting the proper benefits. Those things should not happen here. Next, working condition. So if the working condition is not proper, if there is more stress in the work area, and if they are giving more stress on the work what they have to perform, how they have to perform, with more strict rules and regulations, definitely the people will never think to work in such type of organization. Next, we have a job security and quality of supervision. If the job security is not proper, if it doesn't have a job secured, then definitely people will not work in the organization. Whenever a person is recruited for a certain position, he should be given an offer letter, appointment order, ID card, and all the facilities has to be given by the organization. If he has not provided any offer letter or any appointment letter, and even if the ID card is not there, and if he go and communicate in the market, I'm working in such and such place, and if there is no recognition, definitely he feels that one does not want to work in those type of society or the organization. Because when there is no recognition in the market of the company or the organization where you're working, so if you want to get any loan, either it may be a personal loan or any type of loan, if they say that when your organization is not recognized and we can't provide you the loan, and you don't have any offer letter, you don't have any salary slip, or if it doesn't have any ID card that you're the employee of that organization, definitely the employee feel in such a way that when there is no job secured, and even the organization may remove the employee whenever they want without informing the employer. Such things are happening. Definitely people will feel very bad and they are not satisfied with the job. And quality of supervision, if the supervision has not done properly, and if they're not collecting the information properly, blaming the people who are working in a proper way and giving proper guidance to the other employees or coordinate in the other subordinates. And if they think the person wants to overtaking the other concepts here, then it is definitely a wrong concept here. A person wants to make the people to involve in the work and increase the value of the department and increase the value of the organization in the market. That was the main view of the person. But if the people think in a different way, the higher level people, like it may be superior people, like in the organization, it may be the managers, or in the educational, it may be head of the department, or it may be the vice principal or the principal, or any person in different cadres, or it may be that one. In the sales field, the sales executives working, if is area sales manager and area sales assistant manager, or other people who are there who are thinking in a different way, and if their opinion is in a different way, then definitely the person who's working as a subordinate cannot enjoy the things easily. The next we have here Earthbugs 2 factory, that is company policy, the relationship with boss and other workers. The company policies are more strict in the viewpoint of the employee, and the regulations, whatever the company is making, it is not good. They're not giving proper leave, or there is no proper leave allotment, or there is no allotment of the work in a proper way, and making the people to work for 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, and paying wages only for 8 hours. So then this is not good. And making the people to work for 30 days and giving salary for after 60 days or 80 days, that is not good. And if these type of policies are there, the employees are not ready to work in the organization. And if the relationship, the boss is not good, and if he is not a good communicator with the top level management, definitely, and if the boss is not treating the people in a proper way, definitely there'll be no proper understanding between the subordinates and the top level management, and the job is not satisfied for the employees. Next, we have McGraw-Hill's theory, the theory X and theory Y. Theory X assumes that employees are not motivated and dislike working. The management must actively interview and get things done, instructed, and what to do. If the top level management involves at all the times and makes the people to work in the organization, understand the concepts and make them to work in the area, what they're thinking and what are the thoughts are there in the top level. If they involve themselves in the presentation or the project concepts here, definitely they can achieve the goal here. If whenever they're not involving properly and they're not giving proper guidance or motivation, then it is going to give more problem for the organization. Theory Y assume that employees are happy to work, self-motivated, creative, and enjoy working with their responsibility. It emphasizes that staff are self-disciplined and they do job by themselves. In some of the concepts, there are people are there where they are working in the organization, they feel that when it is our organization, to involve in all the activities, and whatever the organization says, it's okay, no problem. We work in a team and make the organization stand in the top level, and those companies are more in the society. Either it may be companies or educational institutions or whatever it may be, that one. Next, we have a definition of leadership. Leadership is the ability to pursue others, seek to define objectives. It is a human factor which binds a group together and motivates towards the goals. A person who is taking the initiative and creating a group for the achievement of the organizational common goal. A leadership characteristics are there. It is an interpersonal process. A leader should have intelligence, maturity, and personality. He should think in all the angles how to work in the organization, how to handle the situations, and how to overcome with the situations, whatever it comes from, either from the top level or from the lower level, either from the outsider or from the insider, whatever it may be, that you should be in such a position to understand the situation and overcome with those with new innovative ideas and other concepts here. It is a group process. It is not individual. It is a teamwork. He shapes, mentors the behavior of the group towards, he is going to design the group in such a way that when every person who is going to see and say that when this group is better, we have to follow the rules and regulation, whatever made by this group is good. it works out properly, and even it supports for individuals as well as for the organizations. Like that, you have to create a group in such a way that when your group norms, whatever you have made in the organization, that has to be adopted by even by all other departments of the organization or in the society, whatever the organization is there. So there are different types of leadership styles are there: autocratic leadership, transactional leadership, charismatic leadership, participating or democratic leadership, transition leadership. These are the leadership styles are there which supports the people to know about concept, what are the types of leaderships are there and how it is benefited. Go through that one and understand clearly and make yourself to write in the examination properly. Thank you. We have finished the concept of directing and communicating. Thank you to first sem BBA students.